Here at Fresenius Medical Care, we prescribe to the proactive safety philosophy that all accidents are preventable. In all of our facilities, nothing is more important than safety. Our safety record is outstanding because everyone shares the responsibility for maintaining a safe workplace. The company, its management, its employees, and the visitors and contractors we work with every day. Since safety starts with all of us, it also starts with you. In general, it is our policy that all non-employees require escorts at our facilities. They must evacuate when an alarm sounds, wear designated personal protective equipment at all times, and report all injuries or incidents. This program was developed as an in-service specifically for Fresenius contractors prior to working at our facility.
Hi, I'm Kathy McKeever, and today we're going to talk about how to maintain the safest possible work environment for all concerned. So please pay close attention as we discuss your safety responsibilities in greater detail. For long-term good health of our employees, our patients, and our guests, there is no smoking allowed in any Fresenius medical care facility except in designated areas. FMC also has a zero tolerance for violence policy. Abusive, violent, or threatening behavior will not be tolerated. No weapons or firearms, including licensed handguns, are allowed anywhere on this facility or its grounds. Each Fresenius facility has developed a site-specific emergency evacuation plan. Now, this plan indicates your current location, the shortest route for evacuation, and the location of the nearest portable fire extinguishers. Locate the exit nearest to your work area in case of an emergency. A portable fire extinguisher program is also in place at each facility, and on-site training is conducted on an annual basis. Make sure you're aware of the fire extinguisher nearest to your work area. Hazard assessment has been conducted and a personal protective equipment program developed for each area in the facility. Familiarize yourself with any PPE required to do your job safely. This facility generates and disposes of biomedical waste in a designated red bag. Sharps are disposed of in containers carrying a biohazard label. This waste material is disposed of through a licensed medical waste transporter and treatment facility. Medical waste must be disposed of in the correct containers and never mixed with regular waste. A written hazard communications form specific to this facility incorporates work performed by outside contractors. This in-service will identify the locations of material safety data sheets for any hazardous chemicals to which you might be exposed while working. You will be required to provide material safety data sheets for any chemicals you bring into our facility. We'll also share information concerning the location of a written copy of the Hazard Communications Program, a chemical inventory list, necessary protective and precautionary measures you'll need to take while working at our facility, procedures to follow in the event of an emergency, and a wall chart for our internal hazardous materials identification labeling system used at our location. For everyone's protection, all pipes containing hazardous substances are clearly labeled. The contents of any pipes adjacent to your work area will be explained to you upon your arrival. A respiratory protection program is in place and will be put to use if the air sampling levels exceed those designated by OSHA as safe and are below the protection factor of the air purifying respirator. Under the guidelines of our bloodborne pathogen control exposure plan, companies retained to perform services such as cleaning and pest control and outside contractors are responsible for compliance with OSHA bloodborne pathogen regulations. During an FMC in-service, You'll be informed of the potential bloodborne pathogen hazards in the facility and what to do to protect yourself from these hazards. This may be accomplished by sharing the facility's exposure control plan, policies, and procedures as they relate to this standard and the bloodborne pathogen training program, which was developed to assist your compliance process. Any in-service you receive only applies to this facility and does not substitute for the development and implementation of your own bloodborne pathogen exposure control plan as required by OSHA. The FMC in-service should not be represented as compliance to your other customers. Our in-service in no way relieves your compliance with bloodborne pathogen regulations. If your performance is not in compliance with those regulations and the policies of this facility, you'll be notified by FMC and expected to update your practices accordingly. Contractors such as dietitians and social workers, as well as companies providing service such as cleaning and pest control, are required to comply with our airborne pathogen exposure control plan. To assist you in this compliance, you'll be informed of our policies and procedures. In some FMC facilities, this will be accomplished by sharing the TB control program. FMC will audit your performance according to the individual facility's established level of risk. You'll be notified if your performance is not consistent with the guidelines of our TB control program and expected to update the practices accordingly. The FMC audit does not relieve your responsibility for assuring compliance with TB control practices at this facility. If you're working in a facility that uses formaldehyde, a written formaldehyde program will be in place to ensure a safe working environment. Under that program, area air sampling is conducted every week and personnel air sampling every 6 months. Site-specific spill control procedures are also in place. Facilities which use Renilin, Purasterol, or glutaraldehyde will also have a written program governing the safe use of those materials. To assure a safe working environment, air sampling will be conducted in those facilities a minimum of once a year. If you're working in one of our California facilities, please observe the warning requirements for toxic substances under the California Safe Drinking Water and Toxic Enforcement Act of 1986. A written lockout-tagout program provides guidelines for controlling hazardous energy sources during the service and maintenance of machines, electrical circuits, mechanical equipment, hydraulic or pneumatic equipment. These guidelines govern the unexpected startup of machines or equipment or the release of stored energy of any kind that could cause injury. Contractors performing maintenance or repair on energized equipment must have a lockout-tagout program that meets all OSHA requirements in place before work begins at FMC. OSHA also requires notification of potential asbestos-containing material, or PACM, that could be present in buildings constructed prior to 1980. Those buildings may contain asbestos materials such as thermoinsulation, surfacing material that has been sprayed or troweled on, and asbestos vinyl flooring. But the only materials that represent a hazard are airborne PACM, such as fraying insulation, damaged insulation, crumbling tiles, or loose surfacing material. Contractors should not disturb any material on site before consulting the facility administrator about the condition and content of the material. If asbestos-containing material is discovered, a licensed asbestos contractor must satisfactorily address the issue before other work proceeds. Our facility has a designated safety coordinator, the chief technician. If you have any safety concerns while working at Fresenius Medical Care, please contact this individual.
By now, you should have a better understanding of the safety practices at Fresenius Medical Care. I encourage you to do your part to help us maintain a safe working environment for everyone. At the end of this video presentation, you will be asked to sign an in-service form to ensure proper record keeping. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you for your attention and welcome to Fresenius Medical Care.